Hey, Christy here from loomingcraftyfiberarts. Today I want to show you how to do the warm wishes stitch. This is a 4-row repeat. It needs to be done on a loom with even pegs. It can be done on any loom gauge and any weight of yarn. Now this is a cowl that I made with this stitch a while back, and I didn't get around to doing this tutorial, so I'm getting to it now. And this is in the round only. I will be doing a flat panel soon, but this is just for the in the round version. This is a very textured stitch, and I think it could actually be reversible. I'll let you decide when you get it worked out and do a swatch or a project. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight into the stitch, and then afterwards I'm going to have a follow-up to review the pattern once more, and then I'm going to give some tips with working with certain yarn weights with this particular stitch. Remember, this is just a stitch, not a pattern. We're going to be working in the round, and what I do when I'm working in the round, I don't do the whole loom. I do a few stitches and show you how to do the stitch itself, and then I work my yarn around like this, and then I come back and start my next row. If you've watched very many of my videos lately, you know that's the way I do my in the round videos now. Okay, so we're going to start with peg 1. Peg 1, we are going to wrap as an E-wrap knit stitch, and we're going to purl it over. So to purl over, you stick your hook underneath your existing loop, you pull down the loop you just wrapped, just like this, then you flip it over your peg and snug it up. Notice I have my working yarn between my pointer finger and my middle finger to control the tension as I'm pulling it back the loop and snugging it up. Don't snug it up too tight. If you do, you'll have trouble when you come around to your second row excuse me, and start to knit over. So now that we've purled over the first peg, we're going to purl over 3 more times. So you're going to purl over 4 times. So that was 1. This is 2. 3. Watch my hands with the working yarn. 4. So I push down. That helps keep that down so it don't flip off. 4. How many was that? I think that was 3. If it's not, hey, we just done an extra one. I think this is 4. Okay, so we have 4 purl overs, and then we're going to go to the second peg, and we're going to do an E-wrap, and we're going to knit it off. So that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be alternating purl overs, E-wrap, purl overs, E-wrap. So the next peg, we're going to do 4 purl overs. 1, 2, E-wrap around, pull down your loop, push your yarn down so it won't get away from you. So I'm pushing down here, see here, flip the loop over, and then I pull it back up to tighten up a little more, and then 1 more. That's 4. I didn't do it that time. I pulled it up. You see what happened. Okay, that's 4, and that's what it's going to look like on the back. And then E-wrap, purl over 4 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, and E-wrap. And you'll continue to do that, alternating all the way around till you get back to peg 1. Now we're going to pretend that we've done ours all the way around, and we're back to peg 1. Now, this is row 2. On row 2, you're coming from this peg, your last peg, going to peg 1. You're going to E-wrap, knit that off, and purl. So you're going to E-wrap, knit stitch, and purl, alternating. E-wrap, purl. E-wrap, purl. And you're going to keep alternating E-wrap purls all the way around till you get back to peg 1. Now once we go around, we're back at row 3. Remember this 4-row repeat. And I left my loops on here. You go ahead and need to knit them off. I did that. I do that sometimes, but you need to knit them off. Okay, so we're on row 3. This one we're going to E-wrap the first peg on row 3. Second peg, we're going to E-wrap 2 more times, so you have 3 loops. Your existing loop, and then we wrap 2 more times, so that's 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to purl those 3 loops as one, just like that. Okay? And that was wanting to be stubborn, not come off. They're going to look loose like that. Don't worry about it. Then we're going to E-wrap the next peg. We're going to wrap twice, so it has 3 loops. There's your existing loop. We wrap 2 more times. Then we're going to take our working yarn, put it below those 3 loops, scoop it up, pull up that new loop, take the 3 loops off, put the new loop back on. Okay? Then we're going to E-wrap. So E-wrap, and then we're going to, we E-wrapped, wrap twice, E-wrap, wrap twice, and we purl those 3 loops on the ones we wrapped twice. And then we're going over here and we're going to wrap 2 times and purl this one, and we're just going to keep alternating, doing that on row 3. Okay? Now we're coming back around on row 4. Row 4 is very easy. We're just going to do a purl on the first peg, and then a knit, meaning an E-wrap knit stitch, and knit it off. So you're going to do purl knit, purl knit, purl knit, purl knit until you get back around, and then you'll repeat that 4-row pattern. Purl, knit, purl, knit. And then you'll go back around, and you'll be at peg 1 again to start your 4-row repeat. Okay, if you want to do a recap, I'm going to do my recap now. My recap is for row 1, just as a reminder. We're going to purl over 4 times, E-wrap knit stitch, purl over 4, E-wrap knit stitch, purl over 4, E-wrap knit stitch. We're going to alternate those all the way around the loom for row 1. You're going to go all the way back around. After you finish row 1, you're going to come to row 2, start row 2. You're going to E-wrap knit stitch, knit it off, and then purl. E-wrap purl all the way around for row 2. Then when you come back around and get to row 3, you're going to E-wrap your first peg, and then you're going to, on your second peg, you're going to wrap twice, E-wrap around that peg, so you'll have 3 loops, counting your existing one, and then you're going to purl those 3 loops as one. Then you're going to E-wrap, wrap twice, purl 3 loops as one. You're going to alternate doing that around the loom for row 3. When you get to row 4, we're going to purl the first peg, E-wrap knit stitch the second, purl the next peg, E-wrap knit stitch the second, and you're going to alternate that all the way around the loom. That's your 4-row repeat, and that's what creates this very textured stitch. This is, if you can see, this right here is all your purl overs. You see it makes that little stitch right there. This is your 2 stitches combined with the third that was on your peg already that you purled 3 as one. So that's what gives it the alternating look. Here and here. Okay? And it is slightly lacy, depending on what gauge of loom you use and what weight of yarn you use. Okay. So I am working on a Christmas hat, and I will show this to you briefly right now. This is the Christmas hat I'm working on with the same stitch. This is with a 4 weight on a 3/8 gauge. And you can see, I can't get all of it in the picture here. You can see it looks different. It looks different because this is a thicker weight of yarn. And I probably could have got by with 3 purlovers instead of 4. And that's my tip. My tips are, as you go up in weight of yarn, you can kind of play with your purlovers to see. I wouldn't play with the ones that I wrapped and purled like 3 as 1, but your purlovers, you could play with how many. Like if you use a number 5 weight yarn, you might could get by with purlover 2 as a 3 purlover 3. I mean 4. A 4 purlover 3. So you could kind of play with it, but I think it looks good like this too because it gives it more of a definition of a stitch, but it does look different than this one. So that's my tip. And this little hat, I'm making a Christmas hat. I made a little bow out of sari silk ribbon, waist ribbon, and this is a Yorkshire button that I wove on a round loom and then stuffed it and put it on there for kind of a nostalgic rustic look. And I will have it finished and show it in my Facebook group, LC Fiber Arts. If anyone's interested in joining, you can do a search and find it there. If I remember, I'll put the link below, but don't count on me remembering. So I wanted to try doing the stitch first and then do these little commentaries later with the review and the tips or anything else I wanted to add that I thought maybe you might be interested in knowing. That way you'll get the stitch up front, and then if you want to come back and watch the other later, you can, or you can watch the video in entirety. I'd love for you to watch it in entirety, but I also understand you can't sometimes, and that's okay. I'm just trying a different format. See how y'all like it. Let me know. Okay? Have a great day, and bye-bye.